Hello everyone, I'm Sonali Pawar. This is our third lecture of AVE, that is Audio Video Engineering. The first chapter is Fundamentals of Television. In the Fundamental of Television, today we will see NTSC system, its encoder and decoder in detail. What is actually the NTSC system? We have seen in last lecture. We have seen its phasor diagram also, its advantages, disadvantages also. We have gone through all the details. Now, today we will see NTSC coder and decoder. NTSC is National Television System Committee. In the NTSC, today, first of all, we will see what is the functional diagram of the NTSC coder, or we can call it as encoder also. This is the diagram of NTSC encoder, which consists of three from video camera. We capture the video from any camera. From that camera we are having three signals R, G and B. After going to the going through NTSC color matrix, it gives Y, I dash and Q. After that we pass it through filter, then we give delay line to some of the signals, then we pass it through the balance modulator, and then we give to the mixer. All the three signals we give to the mixer. After the it is going through the mixer, the ending signal, what at the end, or output signal, whatever we form, is composite color signal. We have seen composite video signal, just like that. This is a composite signal. It is a composite color signal. Why color? Because this is nothing but about the color television. That's why it is composite color signal. Now let us see NTSC. I and Q signals are active up to 0.5 megahertz, are being at right angles to each other, combined to produce all the colors contained in the chrominance signal. इसमें हम I and Q, we have seen I and Q signals. It's all about that. They are active and up to 0.5 megahertz and being at right angles to each other. However, the Q signal drops out after 0.5 megahertz and only I signal remains between 0.5 and 1.5 megahertz to produce the colors, the finer details of which the eyes can easily receive. Okay. A bandwidth of 2 megahertz is necessary for color signal transmission. This is a saving of 1 megahertz as compared to the bandwidth requirement of 3 megahertz of B minus Y and R minus Y are directly transmitted. We are using here only 2 megahertz frequency as compared to 3 megahertz for transmitting the band pass signal B minus Y and R minus Y. That's why we are saving 1 megahertz of frequency. It is now obvious that the NTSC system's advantages taken of the limitations of human eye. जो ह्यूमन आई के लिमिटेशंस है, वॉट एवर द फाइन डिटेल्स वी कैन नॉट सी, द एडवांटेजेस टेकन इन द NTSC system of human eye to restrict the color signal bandwidth, which in turn results in reduced interference with the sound and picture signal sidebands. Now we will see in details about this NTSC encoder or coder. In this NTSC encoder, this figure illustrates the encoding process of color signals at the NTSC transmitter. NTSC coder is nothing but the NTSC transmitter, because whatever the signal we are transmitting from that place, that is nothing but the NTSC coder. A suitable matrix is used to get both I and Q signal directly from the three camera output. As we have seen before, R, G and B are three camera outputs. We pass these three signals through a matrix, that is NTSC color matrix. After passing through this NTSC color matrix, we get I and Q signal directly from that output of the video camera. Since I is equal to 0.60 R minus 0.28 G minus 0.32 B, the green and blue camera outputs are inverted before reading them to the appropriate matrix. You might have seen in the block diagram, we are inverting the two inputs of that two inputs after the color matrix. Similarly, for Q is equal to 0.21 R minus 0.52 G plus 31 B is inverter is placed at the output of the green camera before mixing it with the other two camera outputs. Exact color subcarrier frequency. We have seen in that block diagram there is a subcarrier oscillator. That subcarrier oscillator produces a subcarrier frequency. What is the exact color subcarrier frequency? We will see now what is actually that frequency. The color subcarrier frequency in the NTSC system has been chosen to have an exact value equal to 3.579545 megahertz. This is the subcarrier frequency value, 3.579545 megahertz. The reason for fixing it with such a precision is to maintain the compatibility between monochrome and color system. क्योंकि हम कहीं पे भी देखते 3.57 है, we call it as 3.5. We do not go with the precision 3.57945, but the reason for fixing it with the precision is that we have to maintain the compatibility between the monochrome and color system, because we are using the same signals for producing the output at the monochrome television as well as color television. Whatever we are shooting at that particular camera, that will capture that color information. For the monochrome television, that will be converted into the black and white or monochrome signal, and for the color signal it will be transmitting that signal. So for getting the differentiating between the two monochrome and color signal, we have to give this subcarrier frequency with a precision, that is 3.579545 megahertz. Any interference between the chrominance signal and higher video frequencies is minimized by employing suppressed carrier or color subcarrier transmission, and by using a notch filter in the path of the luminous signal. It is characteristic of balanced modulator that while it suppresses the carrier and provides frequency, suppresses the carrier and provides the frequency translation, both the amplitude and phase of its output are directly related to the instantaneous amplitude phase of the modulating signal. Suppress the carrier, provides frequency translation. Both amplitude and phase of the output are directly phase of its output. Means that balanced modulator is suppressing the carrier and suppressing the carrier, then both the amplitude and phase of the output are directly sidewind restricted output from I modulator combines with the output of Q modulator. It means that output of I modulator and output of Q modulator after the combination provides the chrominance signal. It is seen that it is then combined with the composite Y signal and color burst in an adder to form the composite chrominance signal. Before we were having a I and Q. After adding I and Q, we get a chrominance signal, and after combining this composite Y signal into chrominance signal, means I, Q and Y, if all these three signals will be combined, a color burst in an adder to form the composite chrominance signal. We are getting a composite chrominance signal. पहले कौन सा था? We get only the chrominance signal, but at the output we need a composite signal. So after adding I, Q and Y, we get a composite chrominance signals. The output from the adder feeds into the main transmitter and modulates the channel picture carrier frequency. Thus, initially we were having output of the, it means output of the video camera where RGB signals. That RGB signal we pass it through the NTSC color matrix, then which produces the YI and Q signal. These YI and Q signals are restricted before feeding them to the balanced modulator, and they are phase shifted. Okay, its bandwidth is also restricted to 5 megahertz, and they are then fed to the balanced modulator. Before that, passing they giving to the balanced modulator, we are giving a subcarrier frequency. The subcarrier frequency to I modulator is a phase shifted by 57 degree. Then subcarrier frequency to the another modulator, that is Q modulator, we are shifting it with the 147 degree. First we are shifting it with the 90 degree, so it becomes 147 degree shift in the particular signal. After that we pass it through the balanced modulator, and that is phase shifted frequencies. We pass through the balanced modulator, which goes to the mixer. At the output of the mixer we get a composite color signal, or we can call it as composite chrominance signal. This is all about the NTSC encoder or NTSC coder. Now we will move to the next point, that is NTSC decoder, which is at the receiver side. As we have seen NTSC encoder, we have seen at the, it is at the transmitter side. After the channel at the receiver side, we are having the NTSC decoder, that is NTSC receiver, sorry. NTSC color receiver. A simplified block diagram of NTSC color receiver is shown in the figure. This is the simplified block diagram of NTSC color receiver. We will see the signal from the selected channel is processed in the usual way by the tuner, IF and video detector stages. After that, the sound signal is separately detected, demodulated and amplified before feeding it to the loudspeakers. Now we will see the block diagram of receiver. This is the block diagram of NTSC decoder. It is having from VIF amplifier stage, we are having that chrominance video signal that goes to the video detector. After that, composite color signal. It forms the composite color signal, which is limited 2 to 5 megahertz which pass through 2 to 5 megahertz filter. Then it goes to the chrominance band pass amplifier. After that, some phase shift is done. It goes to modulator I and modulator Q. It goes to not modulator, demodulator. It goes to two demodulators, I demodulator and Q demodulator. After that, it goes to the adder or mixer, and at the end we get R, G and B signal. Now we will see how we get that R, G and B original signal that we have recorded through the camera. At the initial stage, at the transmitter side in the encoder diagram, we have seen R, G and B. These are the three signals or output from the video camera. Whatever we have captured in that video camera, that exactly same video we are getting at the screen of the television. Okay, that is after the receiver. Now we will see how that is formed. NTSC decoder. The AFC circuit can easily adjust the line frequency to a slightly different value while receiving color transmission. It is having an AFC circuit which easily adjusts the line frequency to slightly different value while receiving color transmission. It changes its frequency line. Similarly, AGC, synchronous separator and deflection circuit have the same form as in the monochrome receivers, except for the inclusion of purity convergence and Pincushions correction circuit. At the output of the video detector, the composite video and chrominance signal reappears in the original pre-modulated form. as we have seen before, NTSC encoder में क्या था, it was chrominance composite video signal. It was not the exactly composite video signal, it was chrominance composite video signal at the output of video detector. That was the first block of this NTSC decoder, that is video detector. At its output we are having composite color signal, whatever the signal, original signal that we get at the output of this video detector. The Y signal is processed as a monochrome receiver, except that the video amplifier needs a delay line. Now let us see why the delay line is needed. The delay line introduces a delay of about 500 nanoseconds, which is necessary to ensure time coincidence for the luminance and chroma signals because of the restricted bandwidth of the latter. As we have seen, there was a restricted bandwidth of 5 megahertz. Just for that purpose we are giving that delay signal. Here the delay is introduced of 500 nanosecond, which is necessary to ensure time coincidence of the luminance and chroma signals. Decoding of the chroma signal. How that chroma signal is decoded? We have seen before, chrominance composite video signal we have got at the output of that transmitter. How that particular signal, or we can call it as C signal, a chroma signal we can call it as C. That chroma signal, how that is decoded, let us see. The block diagram figure shows more details of the color section of the receiver. As we have seen before, the chroma signal is available along with the other components of the composite signal at the output of the video preamplifier. As we have seen before, the composite video signal consists of video signal, or we can call it as a camera signal, then blanking pulses and synchronization pulses. These are all the three pulses or three components we are having in the that particular composite video signal. Then at the output of that video preamplifier, we are having chroma signal and the composite video signal, which is having these three components. It should be noted that chrominance signal has color information during active trace time of the picture, and the burst occurs during the blanking time when there is no picture. In this way, thus, although the C signal, or we can call it as chroma signal, and burst are both at 3.58 megahertz, they are not present at the same time. Now let us see chrominance bandpass amplifier. This chroma bandpass amplifier we have seen in the block diagram. This is after, first we are having the video detector, which gives the composite color signal. After that 2 to 5 megahertz filter, and after that we are having chroma bandpass amplifier. Let us see what is this chroma bandpass amplifier and what is the need of that chroma bandpass amplifier. The purpose of bandpass amplifier is to separate the chrominance signal from the composite video signal, amplify it, and then pass it to the synchronous demodulators. Okay, means bandpass amplifier क्या करता है फिर, it separate the chrominance signal from the composite video signal. जो composite video signal, it is having video blanking pulses and synchronization pulses. That signal and chrominance signal, it is separating both the signal. That chrominance signal is separated from that particular composite video signal, and that chrominance signal is amplified, and then it is passed to the synchronous demodulators. There are two demodulators in that particular decoder, NTSC decoder, I demodulator and Q demodulator. Then that chrominance signal or chroma signal, that is separated from the composite video signal, and it is passed to the demodulators. The amplifier has fixed tuning with the bandpass wide enough, which is almost equal to 2 megahertz, to pass the chroma signal. The color burst is prevented from appearing at its output by horizontal blanking pulses, which disables the bandpass amplifier during the horizontal blanking intervals, which means color burst does not appear. The blanking pulses are generally Y applied to the color killer circuit, which in turn biases off the chrominance amplifier during this periods. Okay. Now let us see next point, color demodulators. As we have seen, there are two demodulators, color demodulators, that is I demodulator and Q demodulator. We will see in diagram. This is after the chrominance bandpass filter we are having I demodulator. After that we are having 90-degree shift, and after that there is a Q demodulator. What is the use of this two modulator? Now we will see. Color demodulators. Synchronous demodulators are used to detect the modulating signal. Here both are in synchronization with each other. They are used to detect the modulating signal. Such a demodulator may be thought of a combination of phase and amplitude detectors because the output is dependent on both phase and amplitude of the chroma signal. क्या बताया यहाँ पे कि वॉट एवर द क्रोमा सिग्नल वी आर हैविंग इट्स एम्पलीट्यूड, इट इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन इट्स एम्पलीट्यूड एंड phase of that particular chroma signal. That's why these demodulators are used for they are used in combination with each other, and they are dependent on amplitude and phase of the chroma signal. As shown in the block diagram, as we have seen now, the block diagram of NTSC decoder, each demodulator has two input signal, the chroma which is to be demodulated, and a constant amplitude output from local subcarrier oscillator circuit. As we have seen in the encoder also, subcarrier oscillator provides a subcarrier frequency that is used for the purpose of modulation. Here for the purpose of demodulation we are using these two signals. We are giving these two inputs to this synchronous demodulator. One is chroma signal that we have to demodulate, because whatever the information that was transmitted initially, that is present in that chroma signal, we have to demodulate that. Then that chroma signal and that output of the subcarrier oscillator which produces the subcarrier frequency, that is fed to the demodulator circuits, I and Q demodulators. The oscillator output is coupled to the demodulator by phase shifting network. We are phase shifting that whatever the output of the oscillator, we are shifting its phase by 90-degree and 57-degree, as we had done before in the transmitter also. The I modulator oscillator voltage has the phase of 57-degree with respect to the burst phase, and so has the correct delay to detect the I color difference signal. Similarly, the oscillator voltage to the Q demodulator is delayed by 147-degree, that is 57 plus 90-degree. As I told before, we are shifting it by 90 degrees, so it will become 147-degree, that is Q demodulator, for detecting the Q color difference signal. Thus, I and Q synchronous demodulators convert the chroma signal, a vector quantity, whatever the chroma signal we are having, into a right angle components, that is polar to rectangular conversion is done here, because originally that was a chroma signal, the vector quantity, that is converted to its right angle components. Okay, this was all about the color demodulators. We are having two demodulators, I demodulator, Q demodulator. Both the demodulators are in synchronization with each other. We are providing two inputs to this demodulator. One is the chroma signal, and another is the output of the subcarrier oscillator, which is nothing but the subcarrier frequency. We are giving this two signal, and that subcarrier frequency we are shifting with a something phase, or we are providing it with some phase shift, that is 57-degree to I demodulator, and 147, that is plus 90-degree to the Q modulator. After that we will see the next block, that is the color matrix. We are using here color matrix, or simply we can call it as an adder here. The color matrix is designed to produce R minus Y, G minus Y and B minus Y signals from the I and Q video signals. We have seen output of the demodulator जो है, it is I signal and Q signal. I demodulator gives the I output and Q demodulator gives the Q signal. Then these signals from I and Q video signal, color difference signal amplifiers are required to perform two functions. While amplifying these signals, they also compensate for chroma signal compression that was introduced at the transmitter as a means of preventing overmodulation. So we are using the two amplifiers, I amplifier and Q amplifier, before giving it to the color matrix circuit, and these amplifiers are used for producing the color difference signals. Okay, the R minus Y amplifier provides a relative boost of 1.14, which is equal to 1 by 87% while the B minus Y amplifier does so by the factor of 2.03, which is equal to 1 upon 49%. Similarly, the G minus Y amplifier reduces its output level to become the zero point 0.7, that is 70% in the relative sense. The grids of the cathode of the picture tube constitute another matrix. The grids are fed positive color difference signal and the cathode receives the negative signal, that is minus Y signal. The resultant voltage between the three grids and cathode becomes R minus Y, which will be equal to R. G minus Y minus of minus Y, which will be equal to G, and B minus Y minus of minus Y, which will be equal to B. Ultimately we are getting R, G and B signal at the output of this decoder circuit. Means receiver will get whatever information was transmitted from the NTSC encoder or transmitter side, that was R, G and B signal, which were output of the video camera, and at here we got R, G and B signals. This is nothing but the NTSC decoder, and so corresponds to the original red, green and blue signal generated by the color camera at the transmitting end, as we have seen before. Okay, now we will see some of the blocks that were present in the same encoder, but we have not seen. There is a burst separator. What is the use of that burst separator? Separator circuit has the functions of extracting 8 to 11 cycles of reference color burst, which are transmitted on the black porch of every horizontal synchronization pulse. The circuit is tuned to the subcarrier frequency and is keyed on during the flyback time by pulse derived from the horizontal output stage. The burst output is fed to the color phase discriminator circuit, also known as automatic frequency and phase control circuit, that is AFC circuit. In the burst keyer, we give output of the burst keyer or burst separator to the AFC circuit. Okay. We will see color subcarrier oscillator. What is the use of that color subcarrier oscillator? As we have seen before, we are giving two inputs to the two demodulators, to I demodulator and Q demodulator. We are giving two inputs. One of the input is subcarrier oscillator frequency or subcarrier frequency. Now we will see what is subcarrier oscillator. Oscillator is which produces the frequency. Its function is to generate a carrier wave output at 3.579 545 megahertz. It is with a precision, and feed it to the demodulators. The subcarrier frequency is maintained at its correct value and phase by AFPC circuit. As we have seen in the diagram, AFC circuit, after subcarrier frequency, it is given to the AFC. That AFC circuit will maintain its correct value. It will, whatever the precise value of that particular frequency, it will be maintained by AFC circuit. Thus, in a way, the AFPC circuit holds the hue of reproduced color at their correct values. Okay, this is nothing but the subcarrier oscillator for producing the subcarrier frequency, and its value is maintained at some level to the by using AFC circuit. Before that, we have seen the burst. So we have seen the burst separator or burst keyer circuit. Now we will see color killer circuit. What is the use of this color killer circuit? As the name suggests, the circuit becomes on and disables the chroma bandpass amplifier during the monochrome reception. Because in monochrome we do not need the color information, so it becomes on and it disables the whatever the chroma bandpass amplifier. It removes its value or it disables that particular amplifier during that black and white reception. Thus it prevents any spurious signal which happens to fall within the bandpass of the chroma amplifier from getting through the demodulators and causing color interference on the screen. So that there is noise is not getting added. Color interference is nothing but the change in the color, or something noise is getting added, or the signal shape is changing. That does not happens because of that particular color killer circuit, which disables that bandpass amplifier. This color noise is called as confetti and looks like snow but with large spots in color. The receiver thus automatically recognizes a color or monochrome signals by a presence or absence of the color synchronization burst. Means this color noise is nothing but a large spot on the color. If we are watching that particular color television, if we saw something different spot on that, that is nothing but the noise that is added here. This voltage is produced in a AFPC circuit to provide a DC bias that cuts off the color killer circuit. Thus, when the color killer circuit is off, the chroma bandpass amplifier is in on stage for color information. Whenever that color killer circuit is on, then that chroma bandpass amplifier is in off position. Okay, getting the meaning of this color killer circuit. This color killer circuit, why we are using that color killer circuit? For removing that chroma bandpass amplifiers, or for disabling, not exactly removing, for removing its existence, or for disabling that particular circuit, we are using that color killer circuit. Now next is manual color controls. How we can control the colors of that particular receiver manually, that is given here. The two additional operating controls necessary in the NTSC color receivers are color, that is saturation level control, and tint, that is hue control. विच मीन्स वी कैन कंट्रोल द सैचुरेशन. आप कभी भी टेलीविजन ऑन करेंगे तो देखेंगे उस पर दिखता है, वी कैन चेंज द कॉन्ट्रास्ट, देन वी कैन चेंज द कलर, देन वी कैन चेंज दैट पर्टिकुलर टिंट और ह्यू. देर आर डिफरेंट टर्म्स गिवन ऑन दैट television. That is nothing how manually by using on that remote how we can change the contrast and color of that particular receiver. These are provided on the front panel of the color receiver. The color control changes the gain of the chrominance bandpass amplifier and thus controls the intensity or amount of color in the picture by changing its value. It ranges from 0 to 100. Usually we put it at 50, 50 so that we can get it a clear picture. But if someone needs some darker picture, then we can increase its value. If someone is not proper with that darker picture, then that particular person can reduce its value and can see a bit light picture. That is nothing but the manually changing or manually controlling that colors on the television. The tint control varies phase of the 3.58 megahertz oscillator with respect to the color synchronization burst. This circuit can be either in the oscillator control or AFPC circuit. Okay, this is how we can change its value manually, either whatever we want light picture or dark picture, we can change that. We can change the contrast of that, we can change saturation, color, that manually that can be changed at the receiver side. That is one of the advantages given in that particular NTSC system. Now let us see limitations of the NTSC system. As any system that is very good, but it is having some of the limitations. We will see what are the limitations. The NTSC system is sensitive to transmission path difference, which introduces the phase errors that results in color changes in the picture. That is a disadvantage of NTSC. There can be change in the picture due to the it is sensitive to transmission path, means in while the transmitting from the transmission path to the receiver, some of the noise can be getting added to that, and we are getting the color change picture or some of the noise added in that picture. At the transmitter, phase changes in the chroma signal take place when change over between program of the local and television network systems takes place and when video tape recorders are switched on. This is also an important disadvantage of that NTSC system. The chroma phase angle is also affected by the level of the signal while passing through the various circuits. In addition, crosstalk between demodulator output at the receiver causes the color distortions. All this requires the use of an automatic tint control circuit with provision of a manually operated tint control circuit. This was all about the limitations of the NTSC system. Okay, today we have seen what is actually that NTSC system. It is its transmitter and receiver. We have seen whatever the blocks present in that transmitter and receiver, what are the different purposes of the transmitter at the input of the transmitter or at the input of the encoder. We have seen R, G and B signal that will pass through the matrix. After that, band limiting that they and the delay line is given and they are passed through the balanced modulator. As for the purpose of modulation we need the two signals, because original signal we are making some of the changes in the original signal, so that subcarrier oscillator produces a subcarrier frequency. That subcarrier frequency we are frequency signal we are giving as input to the balanced modulator with a phase shift of 57 to the I signal and 147, that is plus 90 degree to the Q signal. Then we give this to the input as input to the balance modulator, and at the output of that balance modulator we are getting modulated signals which we pass through the mixer, and we get a chroma composite color signal, or we can call it as chroma composite color signal at the output of this transmitter, which is given to the transmitter. After that we have seen NTSC decoder. In the NTSC decoder we get this chroma composite color signal that is converted into the composite color signal, means we sorry, that is not exactly converted into the composite color signal, but we have we separate these two signal by using video detector. We separate composite color signal and chroma signal into the differently by using the video detector. Then we use the chroma bandpass amplifier, and after that burst keyer or burst separator we are using. When we use the burst separator we switch off the chroma bandpass amplifier for the monochrome television system. After this chroma bandpass amplifier we give the this output of this chroma bandpass amplifier, that is chrominance signal, we give it as an input to the synchronous demodulator. There are two synchronous demodulators, one is I demodulator and another is Q demodulator. The second input to this demodulator is nothing but the subcarrier frequency which we produce from the subcarrier oscillator, and this subcarrier frequency is with the some of the phase shift, that is 57 to I modulator and plus 90 degree, that is total 147 degree to the Q modulator. After going through this demodulators, whatever the signal we pass it to the amplifier, and after that we give it to the adder or we give it to the matrix, and which produces R minus Y, G minus Y and B minus Y signal, and at the end we get the proper R video amplifier signal, G video amplifier signal and B video amplifier signal, which was required for a receiver to get at the output because it was originally transmitted from the transmitter. This is nothing but the NTSC coder and decoder, or NTSC encoder and decoder, how that signal is transmitted by using this NTSC system. Thank you.